Hi, my name's Edward.
And I'm Oscar.
And we're bored.
No, not of you guys. But we're bored of the way that we're being taught and how we learn at school.
And we're not alone. For example, who here has felt bored when they were at school? Exactly, many people. So when 785 US teens were asked what was the word they best used to describe school, 50% of them used the word boring. The high school survey of student engagement found that shockingly, 98%, that 98% of students were regularly bored at school, with 4/5 of those students attributing this boredness to bad material and teaching techniques. Sorry,
my laptop's quite broken.
Better? Oh, there we go. Okay, so we are bored. 50%. Right, just a quick recap in case you got bored during our speech already. The problem is not that teachers are ignorant to this problem of the boredom of students, but rather there are currently no good ways in which teachers can create this interactive and visual content quickly and cheaply. Even today, many teachers are forced to use photocopiers to create this visual content. Currently, it is just too hard and too time-consuming for them to carry it out.
So we aim to solve both problems with CoverUp, the app which enables teachers and students to create and learn from visual and interactive content in just a few clicks.
So there is lots of research to show the benefits of this visual and interactive content in education. For example, the brain processes visual information 60,000 times faster than text. The use of visual aids in the classroom improves learning up to 400%. There is a 38% improved retention of facts with the use of visual imagery, and 65% of the population are visual learners.
So teachers will be able to upload content onto CoverUp using their diagrams they have drawn. Inside our app, they can take a photo of a diagram, and CoverUp will, like many of the smartphone scanning apps on the market already, isolate the dark lines and superimpose them onto a white background. The teachers then have three options: hide labels, hide area, and click and explain. If the first option is hide labels, where they can drag their mouse over the labels that they want to be hidden. The second option is hide area. They drag their mouse over the areas that they want to hide. Lastly, if they select click and explain, the teacher then clicks an area and types up its name.
When the student logs on, they have the option between learning or testing. If they select hide labels and want to learn, then they can hover their mouse to hide and reveal the different hidden words. If they instead want to test themselves, text boxes will appear in which they have to type in the correct answer. If they instead select hide area and also want to learn, then they can again hover their mouse to hide and reveal the different hidden areas. However, if they want to test themselves, then some areas will be covered up before they have to draw in what they think is hidden. Then they are shown, not the animation, then they are shown whether they were right or wrong. Lastly, the last option for how they can learn is click and explain. To learn, they just click anywhere and are shown the name or label of that area. If they want to test themselves, then they'll be prompted to find an area having already been given its name. Shown here. CoverUp has a wide range of uses in education. For example, it could be used in history to learn the different parts of a modern Bailey castle. It could be used in French to learn the different parts of the body. It could be used in business studies to learn the different symbols for the different world currencies and where they're used. And it could also be used to learn the different parts of a nuclear reactor in physics even.
So there's a large market. In the UK alone, there are 10.6 million students and 438,000 teachers, but they're just under.
It's gone to response, so just do the school response.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I'll start off. So we surveyed these school departments at Eton and got an amazing response for our app. So 81% of teachers said that they would be interested in using CoverUp in their teaching.
So when we did our survey, the survey showed us how often teachers use diagrams in their teaching, and we showed that 67% said they use diagrams at least every day, and 96% it at least every week. So there are large markets. Okay, coming on to my point now.
No, we had some great independent responses. Sorry, this is not a slide showing from teachers from our independent and anonymous survey.
Finally, coming on to the fact that there's a large market for that. So there, in the UK alone, there are 10.6 million students and 438,000 teachers, but there being just under 14,500 schools. On top of this, there are other English-speaking countries with large student bases, such as the USA itself, and CoverUp would need little alteration for expansion into these countries. The global student population is expected to double to 262 million by 2025. In addition, the edtech market is growing at an astounding rate and is expected to be worth $19 billion by 2019. So our competition shows how great a need there is for CoverUp. For example, a company called Articulate has been successful in allowing students to create, or students and teachers, to create interactive content. It has appeared for 10 years straight in the annual Best of E-Learning Awards. However, it is very expensive and takes a lot of time to make the content from Articulate. So, what we've taken from it is that if teachers and students are willing to pay so much for Articulate and other apps like it, then it shows that there's really a good need for CoverUp.
So CoverUp has two main revenue streams. The first of which is our global marketplace. Here people can buy and sell their bundled interactive CoverUp content created on it, and we will take a 30% cut of each purchase. So this is just an example of something we envisage what we're like. So you'll see all ratings from the different search results, and you click on it, we'll zoom in and show you the different diagrams and details from the ratings for each one. We also allow companies to place targeted search results inside of things for related educational content, and we will receive 5% of any purchases made through these links. And so, for example, here we see if you search for economics diagrams, it might come up that there's an economics revision textbook from York Notes, which is quite famous in the UK. For schools will pay us an annual fee, which gives their teachers and their students a number of added benefits. Firstly, it will give their teachers and their students their own private marketplace in which they can transfer their CoverUp content for free. It will also allow teachers to set a due date and reminder for work, effectively allowing them to set homework inside of CoverUp. And it will allow teachers to see which students have completed the task, the individual breakdown and marks from that task, and importantly, we give teachers the strong insight into the strength of their students' learning by showing them which answers will answer the best and least well, allowing them to focus on that in their next lesson. We also envisage all of these features being used by teachers in classrooms. So, for example, using the learn function to explain a topic, and then immediately sending out a test and getting the results back in real time. We are doing costs, and whether first of all in the UK is a primary or secondary school, and we increase costs by the number of students that the school wants to enrol, up until the point where we just charge a flat fee. We will also have a free version of the service, which will be used to encourage teachers to get used to the service before they actually sign up or the school signs up. And we are also planning to integrate LTI functionality, learning tools interoperability, no, I can't pronounce that. But, so it enables plug and play of applications, so it means that students only have to use one login for all their applications, and teachers get instant access to all their educational applications that they need, effectively allowing schools to easily integrate CoverUp into their already hectic schedules.
So there are already precedents for our business model operations in the market already. So such as Teachers Pay Teachers, which operates a global marketplace where teachers can sell their lesson plans to each other. Mm-hmm. So in the fourth quarter of 2013, they reached sales of almost $18 million, with sales increasing by 300% per year. There are also schools that already pay an increasing number of schools also pay for an increasing number of internet services, such as our own school, which pays almost $18,500 per year for our internet service.
And we would like to leave a quote with you from a recent TechCrunch article we read, which we think sums up the benefits of CoverUp. Give teachers technology that makes their lives easier, flips their classrooms, or allows them to make extra income, and you're on the right track. We believe that CoverUp does all of these three things. Thank you.
Paul, can you talk about, do you envision this sort of being a singular teacher for their classroom type product, or is this like teachers pay teachers and that there's a crowdsourcing aspect where other teachers can connect with one another outside of their own schools or in their area to kind of leverage the work that other teachers are doing, or is it kind of like a one-off?
So I think there are two aspects. So the global marketplace is very crowd-funded because there's user-driven incentives to put content up there to help other students and to make money off of that. On the schools, it's more of a singular approach because a teacher might set work for one class or might set work for a whole year. But then, because the school's paying for it, it's more centered just on those people in that school. If that answers.
So yes, it's really just both. We kind of try to encompass everything, both what you suggested.
Do you have like a target type of school or age group that you're going to start with first?
So we are going, first of all, we're going to start with secondary schools, just because we're at secondary schools, so we have good knowledge of this. So we have done projections for both secondary schools and primary schools, so going forwards. But we assume because primary schools in the UK, I think, started like 5. So in the period between 5 years old and 7 years old, we do not expect that there will be much uptake of CoverUp because they might not have such good access to laptops or phones. But from kind of 9 to we'd say maybe 15 is the kind of age group we're selecting, and then most teachers. But obviously that's in the long-term plan. Yeah.
Who buys this? Is it schools repurchasing, like primarily the majority of revenue, or who?
Yeah.
Who purchases?
So.
Well, it is the schools that will pay for that will produce the majority of the income for CoverUp. They will pay us, and then in turn they'll get all of their students how many students they have to decide. Because if the school wants to, they can say they want only their science departments want to cover up, and so they can pay for the amount of students there are in the science departments, and then all the science students will be able to receive CoverUp.
I would say at the beginning we're going to target schools because if we get one school, that's a big boost, and then we have the networking effect from that. So if we get 20 people in that, immediately got 20 people, they might tell their friends. Whereas if we went through the global marketplace, may get 1 or 2, and there'd be high cost for purchasing each of those extra consumers.
One thing you may want to think about is secondary schools.
Yes, we have, but that is why we have gone with the free option as well. So it means teachers will start using it. Like we really like this. We wish we had all these analytics. So it's kind of like the Trojan horse into the schools because they might see, wait, all our teachers are using this. We can make this really good. This could really help us. So should we go? So, okay, yeah. Sorry.
About the analytics, I think I missed that part, but that's what I was thinking as well when you were collecting a lot of data.
Should I go back to it?
So what this data that you're collecting, are you making that public and available?
No.
Through? Okay.
So it's just we will not take any of the data because it could be quite sensitive. So we are saying that it all remains in the channel between the teacher and the student in the schools. Because in the global marketplace there isn't really any transfer of data because when you buy the stuff you can use it yourself, but the people who sold it, you don't get any of the data. I think that answers.
Kind of, but I was also thinking there's a second potential stream where they can learn from each other after it's been collected. It's reusable is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, well that's definitely something that we consider.
Yeah, we hadn't thought about that, but that's definitely very true.
We have time for one question.
No.
We don't. Actually, we're in